Yesterday, I had, one after the other, a series of dramas in the house. And today again, the same thing happened. As soon as I opened the phone, and as soon as I left, undone a few things with regard to things that perhaps could wait, to look at some of the correspondence that these people who had come from the north and other places in Ireland had left. They were all travelling people from different clusters, and I saw before me the drama of mankind, a microcosm of the whole world. Drama after drama, pain after pain, and sometimes big pain, real drama. But I thought to myself, the simplicity of these souls in all their pain perhaps is what will get them to a safer place than the sophisticated. They just need a shepherd. They just need someone to listen and to show that the Lord cares. People who are self-sufficient are difficult to get through to. Sometimes the better they are in their education, their wealth, their status, the more obtuse they are and the harder they are of heart. Pride. What letter is at the heart of the word pride? It's a big I. The simplicity of those who have no standing means that they have, on that level, no illusion. And in the last resort, there is no social standing 1 second after death. And death comes in so many forms. Indeed, this very morning, listening to what one of these poor travelling ladies, a young wife, was saying on the phone, it was something like this. Her husband had just left a message: the van you will find in such and such a place, I won't need it, I am going somewhere. And so she copped on what he was going to do. And all the Gardaí in the area were alerted, even in the air. And actually they found him in a wood, hanging, but he wasn't quite dead. The reason was that as he was trying to take his life, the branch broke and he was on the ground, sick. Second chance. But had he succeeded, it occurred to me, another one gone, another one again, gone before the time. And then yesterday, I was listening to so much pain, and much of it, yes, was related to illness, and some of it unnecessary. Much illness provoked by heavy smoking and heavy drinking, but smoking in particular. People who are smoking from early age and can't stop. They're shortening their life. And then they come for a blessing and healing. Well, it's not so simple. We have to take the consequences of our choices. But there are other things I want to attack this morning. They concern the sophisticated and those who do not have to waste their life because they're given huge chances. I am talking about those in authority. What is going on right now in the world of those in authority in Ireland? If one scratches, I think that probably one will find that the people that we have right now in authority are having to toe a line. Because the policies being applied are not those of Irish culture at all. One asks why. Who are these people trying to please, and why? Is there underground some network which tries with efficacious means to get certain things to happen and unhappen, especially in certain parts of the world which stand out and are a nuisance? If one opens one's mouth in public, one also has to toe a line with regard to political correctness. Is this just a social factor, Or again, is there more to this than meets the eye? To promote as equal lifestyles which are ungraced, unblessed, unfruitful, and fundamentally dysfunctional is to be puppeted by some brain which is using people out there who can't see what they're up to present to the Irish nation an alternative to heaven. Do you think that God is taken in by PC? Some of you will have heard this before, others will not. But I will say part of it again to remind you that nothing has changed. Nothing at all has changed once that last breath is taken. Some years ago, a priest hardly ordained was caught in a terrible accident. He was a good priest, fervent, and he was therefore in a good place when his soul departed from his body. His name was Joseph, at least in its English form. He was Indian in Kerala. But I noticed while looking at his testimony that in the 3 parts of the cosmos unseen to our eyes that he was allowed to see, because he was saved, certain things were extremely modern. And, as I say, indicate that PC does not exist on the other side. It's rather like Dante being guided through the underworld by Beatrice. Here we have an angel showing him the way. He sees purgatory, he sees heaven, but he also sees the other bit. And that's the bit that for a few seconds I'd like you to remind you of, because Our Lady too did that at Fatima, even to the children. So, listen to the list. I saw down there people whom I knew. I just think what that means. He's looking down under where he shouldn't be looking, and he's seeing real people whom he knew. But I am not allowed to reveal their identities. Now listen. The sins that convicted them were mainly, listen, abortion, homosexuality, euthanasia, hatefulness, unforgiveness. Does that sound familiar? And sacrilege. Is that slightly Irish? And remember, some of the people promoting these policies are also receiving, apparently, the sacraments. The angel told me that if they had repented, they would have avoided hell and gone instead to purgatory. Now, purgatory, we forget, is a mercy. I also understood that some people who repent from their sins might be purified on earth through their sufferings. Remember that. Never waste your sufferings. This way, they can avoid purgatory and go straight to heaven. Now listen to this bit. I was surprised when I saw in hell even, wait for it, priests and bishops, some of whom I never expected to see. And by the way, we know from another source, Maria Sinma, that bishops, priests and cardinals who were pushing for communion in the hand have had an awful time in the beyond. May not be loss of their soul, but a really tough ride. And I heard that one particular influential one, I believe it was a cardinal, will not get out of purgatory until the decision is reversed, where he was responsible for it. Now, many of them were there because they had misled the people with false teaching and bad example. False teaching and bad example. Verbo et doctrina, the two bottom lines of the canonical life. That is, those who live in community and live the priesthood. They have to be and beam. They have to be the model and they have to teach. Pastors, good shepherds, a priest who gives bad example, e.g., smoking, drinking, swearing, losing his temper, being a bad driver, is already a black house where the church needs a lighthouse. A priest, furthermore, who out of PC, desire to please and bring in the collection, omits certain parts of the message, is not doing what he's there for. He's playing the game of the other guy. A priest who goes further and alters that sacred doctrine is actually a thorough nuisance. Pastor bonus. In Greek, kalos. Paymen kalos, it's the beautiful pastor. The pastor who is the icon of Christ, and in whose eyes a child will also see the goodness of Christ. And thank God the children still do. I return to finish to that starting point. These many, many travelling people in their simplicity and misery, the children are still pure and clean, and they are not inhibited, and they all somehow recognize and know goodness and heavenliness on earth. I ask my friends to be aware of what's around. It's not just human, and to think twice before giving a platform to the other guy. If you have to watch a machine, watch EWTN or a DVD. If you have to listen to some message, listen to a holy CD. Choose your messages, because we are what we take in. And if the whole of Ireland is right now taken in, it's because people do not realise that just by being passive, they're being open to the fumes of the underworld.